We're just shooting the you-know-what here about the Big Ten schedules that were announced yesterday. And quite frankly, we don't like the fact that there are two byes, but there are calendar reasons for it. Doesn't mean we have to like it. Also, it's obvious Michigan State's schedule is a little easier than Michigan's, but that's okay.
As it appears now.
Exactly. True.
We don't know what
right.
USC is going to be next year. Will Lincoln Riley still be there, or does he jump to the NFL? Caleb Williams.
I haven't heard that one.
No, I've heard that a little bit, yeah. USC, will Caleb Williams still be there or not?
I'm also sure that Michigan State's schedule will be hard for Michigan State.
Oh.
With Urban?
Yeah, exactly. With the urban planning.
Oh, boy.
Urban's not going there.
Yeah. At Washington.
He's going to go to Michigan after Harbaugh leaves.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about that. If there's one thing that would send Rico and Mike into epileptic fits, could you imagine? Obviously, it would never happen because Michigan's, well, maybe they're not if they're accused of cheating. Too good for this stuff. Could you imagine Harbaugh leaving to the NFL or getting fired because of this and Michigan hiring Urban? Because at one point, I do remember years ago, I don't know if it's true or not, there was a narrative, there was only three jobs. There was only three jobs that Urban would ever take, after it would be Notre Dame, Michigan, and Ohio State.
Yeah, I think if that was the case, I mean, we heard different things on Tuesday. We might hear this.
Oh, yeah. No, you'd hear glass breaking.
Yes. Something going out the window. But anyway, getting back
new
to
TVs.
Well, new computers,
Obviously, it would never happen. So you had a question.
Yeah, so do you realistically think, because I know there's going to be some late games. They're going to stagger the schedule and create like almost a fourth, Big Ten time window with these West Coast teams. Do you think, though, that like Michigan, Washington could be like a 10 o'clock start, 10:30 start? Eastern.
Do I think there could be? Yeah, sure. I do. I think it's likely no. I don't think so because
they want Michigan prime time.
Yeah. I mean, you still want – I know that they want to increase the viewership at that time, but they want to increase it for the entirety of the game. I don't think everybody is going to stay up from 10 to 1:30 in the morning to watch that game. A lot of people will. Don't get me wrong, but they'll have better ratings, which is what we know they're all after. Either at 7:30, 5 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. Any other time's on the table.
Yeah.
I mean, even think 9 if you got like a 6 o'clock start on like a doubleheader on ESPN or something like that. I don't
Well, they won't be on ESPN.
Well, I agree with you that it won't happen next year with that game. I do think the Michigan State-Oregon game could be a candidate for that. And I think that's something that potentially might rub fans the wrong way on the East Coast is when their teams have to play a late start out there, like a night game out there.
Right.
Well, and the West Coast teams. Like, this is an opportunity for East Coast teams, West Coast teams to be more visible on both coasts. And we heard from Dion the fact that he thought it was ridiculous that they were starting a game at 10 o'clock at night. If Dion, and I know this isn't, they're not a
and
part of
it was 8 o'clock. It was 8 o'clock prime
right,
time.
But if he has a chance
time
to play against a Michigan, an Ohio State, somebody on the East Coast, and they put it at 10 o'clock on the West Coast, or 10 o'clock on the East Coast, he wants more people to view his program. That doesn't get the job done. Everybody wants what is going to be most viewed by the majority of everybody, and that includes everybody east of the Mississippi that is not going to stay up. More people will be apt to get up for a 9 o'clock start. I think that's more likely to have a West Coast team play at 9 in the morning than you will 10 o'clock at night.
Right, because those games.
And even if it's a West Coast, if it's at the Rose Bowl at 9 in the morning.
So that's going to be a new built-in excuse, like in the NFL, for the teams that travel to the East Coast.
Well, let's be honest. The late night East Coast games in the Big Ten will be schools like Indiana playing at USC. They'll play at 10. If they need that window filled.
Yeah,
because they're not going to put Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, maybe even Michigan. I don't know, Michigan State in that window because it does them no good.
Right.
Yes, the diehards of these schools will watch, But as far as everybody else around the country, especially on the East Coast, they're not going to. It's a Saturday night. A lot of people go out. They don't even watch college football, but that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
First glance on this, the toughest West Coast team coming into Big Ten country late in the year is the third to the last week of the season, with Oregon going to Madison.
Oh, wow.
It looks like they did some favors, like USC and I think Oregon or USC and UCLA. Two of those three have bye weeks the last 2 weeks of the year. So it looks like they attempted to avoid bringing West Coast teams into like the hardest of winter.
Well, yes, but you could also argue that the last weekend wasn't a beautiful weekend. And Oregon is going to Ann Arbor November the 2nd. So I know this weekend it looks like it's kind of one of those roll the dice. You could have a beautiful weekend like I think we're going to have this weekend where it's going to be 50 degrees, or you could have 30 degrees, rain blowing sideways. I don't remember when the Purdue-Michigan game that we always reference from 95, I don't remember the date of it.
I can look that up, but it also rains a ton in Oregon.
It does.
But they did favors, like USC and UCLA both go to Minnesota early in the year.
Right.
Can you imagine them going there like November 22nd or whatever, the week before the UCLA game or what?
How about this little massage for USC for their first year? They do not leave the Pacific time zone after October 19th, because after that it's home to Rutgers, at Washington, which is still that Pacific time zone, bye, then Nebraska at home, at UCLA, Rose Bowl, and they finish with their non-conference with Notre Dame. So they don't leave the Pacific time zone for.
I'm glad that
6
one's
weeks.
still on the schedule, just
Yes.
as a college football fan.
Yes, absolutely.
And even though you don't like it, Michigan doesn't leave the Ann Arbor time zone for 5 weeks.
At the start of the season.
Yeah, right.
I know.
You're right.
I can't believe Mike Stone is going to have to go to Ann Arbor 5 weeks in a row.
The Ann Arbor area
I've heard
code.
you.
Yeah.
Well, you hold on.
I mean,
No.
just go to the big house.
I'm gonna go
5 weeks in a row. I know that just pains you, especially since one of them is
All right.
Texas, one of them is USC, the other one's the Little Brown Jug, and I'm trying to pump that one up a little bit.
Yeah,
Remember, he
thank
doesn't
you.
care about the little brown jug.
Right, yeah, he doesn't
Right.
care about the Little Brown Jug. Yes,
And
yes. No trophy
I
games
like
for
the
you. You don't
opener,
care
the
about
Fresno
trophies.
the Arkansas State game. Maybe I'll pass on, but whatever. But hold on. Don't try to just paint me in this world because I say it on the air. You said the same thing off the air. You don't like 5 straight home games.
Don't put words in my mouth.
No, I will. Especially when you actually do say them. You did say you don't like 5 straight.
I would prefer.
Right.
I'm still going to go, and I'm going to enjoy every one of them.
Of course you're going to go because it's your job.
I would still go anyway. I went before it was my job.
I'm probably going to go too.
Well, you just said you were going to go to the Arkansas State game. You would have picked the one
said
right out in the middle.
I said I might.
You
I
picked
mean,
the
I
one
went
right
to-
out in the middle because it's too many times for Mike Stone to go to Ann Arbor, to tailgate, to have his Bloody Mary before a game that he's going to leave at halftime anyway.
Against Arkansas State, it depends. Depends what time the game is. Because it could be the game where I go to.
You're going to go to tailgate and just go home before the game starts?
No. Tailgate, go to the game, and then go to Karsh's house.
Oh, spend the night at Carson. I forgot if that was an
Yeah.
option.
I mean,
Yes.
come on. No, look. I mean, you can make me look like a fool all you want. You normally do, and sometimes I don't need it. You don't need any help. But I mean, we both agree we don't like 2 bye weeks, and you're painting me as like this heathen for expressing the same exact opinion that you have.
For different reasons.
Yeah.
Me, it's
I mean,
just
what do you have to care at that point? You're going to be retired.
Well, I have to be back at Ford Field for Lions. I got to wait to see what the Lions schedule is going to be out. I'm still be doing Lions post game. I don't know if it's my Michigan State's off. Rico might go to Washington or wherever. Or Rico will probably go to Oregon, right? So I'll have to fill in for him that day.
I mean, seriously, you can these 5 straight weeks. You can hit the Bob Evans early special and then get on out there.
But it
Go,
will.
go play some golf after.
It will give me some chances to go see
Yes,
some different
yeah. You
venues.
could have your bowl of soup at 10:30, dinner at 4:30.
One of my college. That's week 6.
Tell that.
One of my old college buddies lives in Seattle.
Not going to Bill Naps though.
Right. I might have to bother you in Seattle.
They used to have the chicken and biscuits.
We'll go to Montgomery or whatever the heck the place is in Seattle, that steakhouse.
Oh, yes. Metropolitan Grill.
Metropolitan Grill.
Yes.
Friday night, October 4th. Let's make our reservations.
Oh, I've trust me, that list, that number is growing. I've already contacted them.
God, I hope like the Lions play the Seahawks out there that weekend.
It'd be amazing. Yeah. I'm not staying, but.
Why not?
Well, because I do want to spend some time with my family.
Oh, okay.